So good evening. Today is the 19th of June and here we are at the classic and interesting car event at the White Horse at Ampfield. Once again, what is a classic car? What is an interesting car? What is a classic and interesting car? Well, John, who is the owner of the pub, will tell you that because he's the person on the door directing people one way or the other, and mine has not been classic or interesting, so I had to park in the car park. But anyway, we'll start off with this BSA. It's a 1931, this one, and you're thinking, BSA didn't make cars, did they? Well, they did, because here is one. They did make them for a time. Obviously, later on, when they were they had Daimler under their control, which happened until about 1960. They had Daimler under their control. They were obviously making cars under that brand, but they made their own as well. And this is one of the three-wheelers. I suppose it's like a rival to the Morgan three-wheelers that were available at the time. I've never seen one of these before. I had to reg check it to agree with a year, but yeah, that's a BSA. Next to it, 1978-79 MG Midget 1500. I like the colour of this. I think we've seen this before. It looks very good with this luggage rack on the back. It would help because they're not the most spacious cars. Getting in and out of these for somebody who's reasonably tall is an experience. I can tell you because I've driven one of these. It was a 68, so much earlier than this, but same interior dimensions. 1967 Austin Healey 3000 Mark III. This was the very, very last year that they made these cars. They replaced really in the BMC lineup, and then from 68 British Leyland, the MGC. They had a similar engine in them. But this is a very late one of these sort of big Healeys, they call them. And yeah, that's definitely interesting. Also interesting is this 1955 MGTF. I had to actually look this up on the reg checker system. Obviously that's for not the plate that it's on at the moment. That's the plate from what it was in America. But it is a genuine one. You could get Naylor, whatever they call them, Naylor Hudson things, I think they call them. But this is a real one. It's a 55, and it spent a lot of time in America because I've just read this documentation. It's very, very comprehensive here, and it looks pretty nice. I like this motor steering wheel. I always like those. But yeah, very, very late one. The MGA came out, I think, later the same year, actually, 1955. So there we go. And then next to it, another open-top sports car with interesting provenance. This is a 2.8 V6 Panther. It's a Calista. It's a 1987, and it's got an automatic gearbox. So same engine that would have been in the temporary Ford Granada Mark III, built, I think, in Surrey, actually, these. And at the time, the company owned by SsangYong, which, yes, SsangYong was owned the company at the time, which is bizarre, isn't it? So MGB here, this has got the interesting sort of roof that some of these had at the time. I think this was a factory option, one of these, because I have seen them before. And that is a 69 to 70. Can't remember the name of the people who made this this sort of hardtop, but I've seen these before, so obviously they were around, but it's just unusual to see one like that actually. And we've got Mini Club and Estate 7980 on a V. I don't think I've seen this before actually. A lot of the cars that are here, I would have seen them, but this one I haven't. We've got Greenlight style wheels. This should have on the side of it some stripes or something. I think this has been painted or something, so I wouldn't have had them, but I love the colour of this. I can't remember what this colour is called. Is it Mimosa Yellow or something? I can't remember now.
Snapdragon Yellow.
Snapdragon Yellow apparently for that one. And then Morris Minor here. I'm not surprised. I think he's the only one that's actually here so far. Still quite early on in the day. There's a lot more stuff coming in. This is a 62. I think this is one of the very last of the 948cc ones because the 1098cc models came in later in 62. We've got sort of clues here like these wipers that meet in the middle. The later ones didn't have that. Whether this is a genuine Tourer or it's a later conversion, I don't know. But if it's a genuine one, this will be worth quite a lot of money actually. So, all drum brakes, no servo, and no synchro mesh on first, all the way to the end with these. I think they got slightly better brakes a bit after that. Yes, we'll have a look at that a bit later on. A nice TR8. There's also another TR here that shape, and well, 2 other TRs from earlier generations as well. But we've got a 2006 MX-5 here. Is this a classic? The same age as my Volvo. I think more it's probably interesting. I certainly like these. I had to go in one of these. It was a 6-speed one, and it was pretty good. In my opinion, these drive better than the NA and MBs in many ways. But I can't say that because a lot of you will lynch me to that. But this one's a 6-speed as well. It'll be a 2-litre then. And we've got this rather nice Triumph TR5. Be quite a late one. They finished on a G-Reg actually in early '69. This one, yeah, will have I imagine the Lucas mechanical fuel injection in it. Actually, the American spec cars known as the TR250s actually had carburetors. This one's still, so it's got the injection system in it though. Now this is a TR7 V8. This is I think one of the small sort of batch of them that were made about 1977. I think these were made to go rallying and things before the TR8 was even a thing. I have driven a TR7, but it's a 2-litre one. It didn't look anything like this, even on the inside. I think they probably made a dash like that because, well, the other ones do sort of crack up and things under the sunlight. But that is fantastic. This is a TR3. Now, it says this was first registered in 2018. So I think there's something funny going here. Clearly the car's been imported at some stage in its life. This will be from sort of late 50s or something like that. But yeah, it's very nice. I love the dark paintwork, and then we've got a nice sort of biscuit coloured leather interior. I mean, that's very nice. Right, let's go on to the next bit. Then we've got this very nice mini Moke here. This is a Portuguese built one, I think. First they were built in Britain, then they were built in Australia. I think from 1981 they were made in Portugal. So everything's exposed. I mean, you can see here the seat belts are exposed, the rear seat belts are all attached there. We've got no bodywork on the side. Fascinating thing. I mean, I think there's a company down in Dorset that markets a new version of this at the moment, from what I understand. Got telltale sort of bits in here from things like a bit of a Metro, aren't they? Those wiper stalks are very early Metros. And then we've got the 1930 Rolls Royce that's always here. And this is used virtually all the time. I know the gentleman who owns this, he's part of a Test Valley motor enthusiast like I am, and he uses this all the time. He goes to trips to France in it and things like that. It is a really, really excellent mechanical condition car. I think he's recently done a trip to the Cotswolds in this as well. Then again, we're in the kind of, is it classic or is it interesting? Well, this is an Alpina, or at least it says it is. They make an Alpina version of these views. It's 2004, so it's 20 years old now, this car. It doesn't, to me, this doesn't feel like a 20-year-old car at all, but it is. So it's a Z4 with some Alpina wheels on it. Imagine this to be one of the 6-cylinder ones. And then definitely in the interesting category as opposed to classic, because this, I think this is a 991, 911, this one. So this will be, I think, even later than this plate, the 2011 plate. I think we're talking like 2017 or something like that. I don't know, but somebody can enlighten me because I'm no good on things like this. So, yeah, it's a Carrera 4S, and then we've got a Lancer Evolution. Let's just see what number it is. It's an Evolution 9, the FQ320 version. And FQ, that does stand for exactly what you think it does. Actually, it genuinely stands for that. So I don't know exactly what year that is. I think the 10s came in around 2008. I have driven a 10 on a track, and it was absolutely bonkers. It was one of the most amazing ways to sort of cover ground. It just do anything really, those. Only got a 5-speed gearbox though. Ooh, a Porsche 968 Cabriolet. Very nice views. One of these things I'd like to do in my life at some point is drive a 968. I've driven a 924. I think I've got a 944 coming up at some stage. But I'd like to drive a 968. I think these are sort of, for me, the sort of ultimate of this kind of, I don't know, philosophy of Porsche. 3-litre straight 4 engine in these, so one of the biggest 3-litre engines in sort of modern production. On an M, so it'd be 94, 95, replaced I think about 96 by the Boxster really, but that's a very different type of car. I think these are brilliant actually. I suppose, you know, this might have been a rival really for one of those back in the day, maybe even more expensive, I don't really know. I think this is a Ferrari 348, isn't it? Left-hand drive one. I prefer the cream interior, that's just me being picky. Yeah, 93, 94, this is 348 TB. Can't remember what the TB stands for now, but I love these sort of covered up rear lights. They just remind me of something like a Jaguar XG220 as well. And then we're going again a lot older. Here, another red TR5. The information sheet might tell me exactly what year this is. Yeah, it's a 68, this one. Registered in Wrexham, apparently. Didn't realise Wrexham was the sort of, you know, hot sales bed for these back in the day, but apparently so. Yeah, that does look rather nice. Both of them look very nice, actually. And we've got another TR of this shape here. So we've had the TR V8, we'll probably have a TR8 coming up soon. And then this, I imagine, is just a standard 2-litre one, I don't know. There's a spider all over it. Is this perhaps like an American spec one or something? So look at the boot lock. That is, and it's a TR8 as well, my gosh. Obviously I'm wrong, we gave from Santa Monica, okay. TR8 Spider clearly is sort of, what we might have called them over there. Whereas the Americans were far more keen on the V8 engine in these as opposed to the Slant 4. Yeah, 7980, Canley built car. The boot lock was changed actually when we started putting them in Solihull, so I can sort of date that quite exactly. And then we've got a very, very large Lexus. What are these called? I can't even remember now. This would be like, I don't know, 2022 or something, I imagine. LC500, there we go. I think, if it were me, I would prefer the coupe version of this. We've got a lot of technology in here. This is a very, very expensive looking car. And yeah, it looks very, very sort of contemporary. Look at the size of it compared with this TR8. It's huge, isn't it? And then we've got Mini 95 pickup. That is actually the correct designation for it. This is actually from sort of 1978-79. It's not a 60s one. The reason it looks a bit like it is because they kept these doors and the door handles and the grille from the Mark 1s all the way through to the end. It's still got the pressed steel grille on this. But that's in really, really nice condition. You know, doing the minis like the Forth Bridge, if you've dealt with the rust, you've got to start again. That's really nice, actually. Then we've got, well, I think you see the thumbnail views, and I am very, very happy with this. This looks absolutely fantastic. 1988-89 Daimler. It doesn't say it's a Sovereign, so I'm not exactly sure whether it was just called the Daimler. I think this will be a 3.6 litre one. The 4 litres were a little bit later than this. The XJ40 is one of the favourite cars I've ever driven. I've driven one of them. I drove that actually back in November, or the video came out a bit later than that, for 10,000 subscribers special. Chapoed 2 of them. And, well, not only is it a Daimler, but it has a beige leather interior with wood, and also we've got some picnic tables in the back of the seats. And we've got an old Panasonic mobile phone with Jaguar branded and Jaguar branded stereo. Does life possibly get any better than this? Does it, viewers? I don't think it does very much. I think very much I'd like to have that for myself, but I don't think I'm allowed it, so we'll have to leave that alone. And we've got this 1932 Wolseley Hornet Special. It's a boat tail body on this. I did speak to the gentleman who owns this, so I wasn't actually sure what it was originally. Yeah, look at the RPM gauge and sort of the gradations, which is very, very unusual. It's not at all like most of them are. And then we've got, I think that's the engine temperature on the grille top there. It's fantastic, isn't it? Certainly more on the sort of interesting line here rather than classic is this Nissan 350Z. Hello to Craig_Denham97 on Instagram. Someone has put an awful lot of work into this, and a lot of paint as well. This is sort of very fast and furious, isn't it? Very much so. So you use security device, you take your wheel off. Yeah, I don't even know what year this is, a personal plate, so there we go. Next to it, Firefrost Red MGTF. It'd be one of the very last ones that were made under the MG Rover era. Obviously, restarted under Danjing Automotive in 2008. It is actually Firefrost Red, which is appropriate for the number plate. We've got a row here of extremely old cars. They're all, I think, over 90 years old actually now. This is a 1931 Austin 7. I don't know what all these are worth anymore now. There seems to be still tons and tons of these around. I'm really quite surprised actually at the survival rate of these. I mean, Mr. Richardson Furious Driving absolutely loves these. I am probably not as keen on them as he is, because I find stuff like this incredibly difficult to drive. But you know, some people don't find that. Then we've got something that's extremely old. This is a 1910 Britain. So this car is 160. No, not 116. Let's get this right. It's 114 years old. Absolutely crazy. Will I last 114 years like this car has? I don't know. Someone's very fitted an LED brake light. There's a bit more illumination than that thing. There we go. Yeah, that looks a bit scary to drive. It's probably like a Model T or something. So a whole load of bikes turn up. I better keep going, viewers, because you know, that's what we do. We just keep going. So that's the 1910 Britain. It's probably the oldest car here tonight. I think I've actually seen older cars here at this event than that. And then we've got this Morris 10.6. Now, this car is 90 years old. It's a 1934. The lady who was the first owner actually had it until 1974, which is pretty bonkers. Yeah, it looks very much like a larger version of the Neville Morris Minor that was being made at the time, and later than the Morris 8. But that's all I can really tell you, because I don't know much about stuff like this. Right, let's go into a bit at the back. It's probably a bit quieter in there. So, 1965 Volkswagen Splitty. This was here before. I had to do a check on it. Right-hand drive. I wonder if this was sold new in the UK, or if it's like a South African import. Lots of these now are South African imports actually. This has 4 side windows, so I don't know how they do this on these. They normally sort of say how many windows it is in total, but you could sort of argue that front was 2. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below, like, how many windows you think this thing actually has, and what I should be calling it, because I'm not entirely sure. Almost fell over their viewers, but didn't quite. It's always a hazard when I'm filming. 1971 Land Rover Series 2A. Now, I thought this possibly might be a Series 3, but if you look at the dashboard down there, you can see the dials are actually down in the middle. And on the Series 3, apart from the lightweight, the normal ones, the dash is up there. So that sort of tells me exactly what type it is. It could be either, because it's a J71. I think these Series 3s came out in 71 as well. This is a 1963 Mercedes 190, and it's not the 190 that most of us know. This is this sort of much older one. The Germans call these generally, the sort of series of these, the Heckflosser, which means you know, a fintail. So we've got little louvers on here. I don't think it's got a heated rear window. It's got a sort of louvers on there, and we've got the strangest dashboard I've ever seen for a car. As you can see, the speedometer. It's just a little bar in the middle of there, which sort of runs up the top. It doesn't have sort of round dials or anything, which is fascinating. Also fascinating is this very, very early Triumph Stag. It's actually definitely a 1970 only, this thing. And unlike most Stags you see, it's not got the alloy wheels. Alloy wheels on a Stag are actually an option. And the one that I drove, it was 72 in this colour with these wheels. Also looked a bit like this. Just to see if this is an automatic or a manual. That's an automatic. Yeah, so it's a very similar specification to the one that I drove actually, which was last May. Which was good. Apart from the fact the steering is very, very light in them, and it doesn't give the best feedback, but you are grateful of it when you're turning. This is a 2021 AK427. It's based on a Cobra, of course, one of these replicas you could get. I had to look that up actually because you know, you look in here, you wouldn't have a clue exactly what year it is, but that's the year that it was registered anyway. It obviously goes for, I think, is it called the SVA or IVA test, these things? I don't remember, but there we go. Braver person than me driving something like this. Look at this view, it's very nice. And Alfa Romeo 105 Series Coupe, 1974-75 on an N. Will it tell me what model this is, or we're just going to have to guess? I'm just going to have to guess, say it's like a 2000 GTV or something like that. But one I've driven, which was years ago, I think it was 2019 I drove it, although I didn't film the driving on camera, I just did a walk around of it, was a 71 GT Junior with a 2000 engine, which is just fun, although the driving position is a bit funny, like all old Alphas. Another one of these Austin Healey 3000 Mark III. This is a 1965 on a C. I don't know if I prefer the colour of this one, I think I'd maybe prefer this colour. Obviously been imported at some stage, it's left-hand drive, probably from America. Ooh, another TR. We've got virtually all the TRs here. I think anyone I haven't seen is a 4 or 4A. This is this TR6, 72-73 on an L. Have we still got the Lucas mechanical fuel injection in here, viewers? I imagine we probably have. I better get a copyright claim on that music. Again, more on the interesting car side, opposed to classics, only from 2019, is this Abarth 595 Competizione. I finally drove one of these Abarths at the end of last year, and you know, they are kind of fun, but they are a little bit on the firm side. Afraid that Toyota Camry, we're not allowed to discuss on the channel, viewers. We don't talk about diesels. Thank you, Mayor of London. This is really interesting, this thing. It's not an MGTF. It looks a bit like one, but it's a 1990s replica built on a 1961 Triumph Herald chassis. I asked the owner, his name is George, about this. I think he's actually selling it. It's got an all-cylinder mesh gearbox. I imagine it's not from a Herald because those didn't get all-cylinder mesh gearboxes. The brakes are, I think, actually disc at the front. The brakes on the Herald 1350 convertibles that I drove in 2022 were also disc at the front, but like these, they had no servo and it was quite scary. So George's number is 07754468371. I think he wants about 5,000 for this. If you wanted a TF like the one that's up at the top there, you'd be paying an awful lot more than 5,000 for it. I wouldn't say this is like a concourse car. I don't think he's pretending that, but it looks like it's fun. We've also got sort of these 1970s bits of British radio switchgear in here. So we've got things like Dolomite instruments and things like that, which is fine. You know, it's a very sort of interesting thing. I mean, most people don't have a clue what this is. I certainly didn't. And then next to it, we've got something that's based on a very similar chassis. We've got a Spitfire. This is let's just check this. A Mark III. You have to look at the registration number for me to tell you what year it is. The bonnet up the front, so maybe we can't see that. It's in 1967. I think this will be 1300 actually. I can't remember when they went to 1.3s and 1.2s, because originally when we came out in 62, these came out. I think they were 1.2s. And another thing for sale here, Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power Channel quotation will be ready, will be this 1966 Hillman Super Minx. I've not seen this one before. There's a very similar one in Tesla Motor Enthusiast, but that's actually got a green roof. This is a white roof. And call 07512059992 if you're interested. I can't remember if these actually have brake servos in them. I think I've been offered one of these for review actually. That might be coming up quite soon. That'd be fun, won't it, having a go in something like that. And then we've got more Healey action, another 3000 this one. See what year this is actually from. I think we're probably looking at sort of 5960 there, one of the sort of early versions of the 3000. And then something probably even earlier, it's an XK150. I imagine that its tax disc is about the rear of a car, maybe 58, 59. That actually looks like it might be a real one as opposed to a replica one, but I'm not sure. One of my friends has one of these actually, he's bought it recently. Not sure I want to ask him if I want to drive it or not. I imagine the steering will be quite heavy. Another TR6, this is a really, really clean one. Again, 6970 on an H. And then next to it, a Porsche 356. This looks like a real one to me, rather than a replica. Well, I could be wrong. It looks all correct to me. And it's an S version. I imagine this is from the early 60s, but I wouldn't be able to say. Again, somebody I know actually owns one of these. It's not a drop head coupe like this. It's a coupe. And then we've got another one of these. We did mention this earlier. This is a 1980 1981 Triumph TR8 coupe. TR8s were not made in huge numbers for our market anyway, but the Americans were quite keen on them. Of course. This again is a Canley built one because the boot lock would be different from Solihull built cars. It's got opening roof as well, which is fun. A bit more powerful than the TR7 I drove last year. Ford Mustang, 1967, 68. Maybe some of you who know more about this car will tell me if that's a 67 or 68. It's very nice though. And then an NA MX-5, 1.8 IS, UK specification. Quite a late one actually. 1997. Nice colour, I like that. And then at the back here we've got a couple of other things. 1986-87 K10 Micro, I think we've seen this before actually. Like a lot of them, we've got these big wheels on this. And then I'm just going to double check what year this 205 is, because that's not the original plate. I imagine it's about 1990. But looking at the back would suggest we've got the sort of earlier rear end, which hasn't got the smoked indicator. So I'll just have a look. It's after 1988 because of the dashboard. Right, viewers, this is actually 1988. Just the indicators on the front have been changed. So I was right about the dash. It's one of the first with this newer dash in it. The earlier cars had a different dash in them from these. But yeah, that looks pretty correct to me. And then we've got probably along the interesting category here. We'll look at the BMW in a second. A Porsche, I think this is a Taycan Turismo or something, I can't remember the name of these now. Yeah, it doesn't tell me. Although probably a lot of you will be wanting more information about these. I'll do a reg check on this actually to see if I can get the exact name for these, because I'm really bad at remembering. I think it's something like a Taycan, but I could be totally wrong. Yeah, 2021 Taycan Cross Turismo. Can't believe I actually got that right. But yeah, if you want to talk about Porsche Taycans, probably watch some other channels like I mentioned about those, and not mine. I better talk about this. It's an E39 5 Series Touring, 9798 on an R. I think the lights have been changed on this, perhaps. The front end certainly has been. So we've got a big V8 in this. Yeah, that's had some work done to it, hasn't it? Is this a standard front end for the sort of pre-facelift 540i or not? I don't think it is. I think this is be a little bit later or something, but maybe somebody in the comment section below tell me, or that's sort of like an M5 front end put on it or something. But you know, this will do me fine. I don't think I'd need all the extra performance of the M5 if it were me, but that's just my opinion. And we've got something very nice. I like this very much. SW20 Toyota MR2, UK specification one. What rev this is, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. But it's very nice. It's still got the indicator stalk on the other side. So still Japanese, this kind of, you know, feel to this. And imagine that's quite fast. Also fast would be this Caterham Superlight from 2001. It's actually possibly I don't know, it might even be on the original plate, this actually. I thought it wasn't, but apparently it checks out with the age of the car and everything. That would be ballistically fast. I like this as well, because this Capri 2.8 injection, 8485 on a B. Is it a special? I think it's a special, judging by the interior on this. These are lovely cars. They are a bit of a pig to drive sometimes. The brakes are rubbish, and the back end will just step out at the slightest provocation. But maybe that's what you like. Maybe you want to be Lewis Collins, and that's the way you want to drive. And if you drive it harder, the better it is. If you drive it slowly, it doesn't like it. So there we go. We do like Capris on this channel, viewers. We also like this very nice E30 BMW 3 Series convertible. Having driven an E30 in this colour, I think it was, maybe slightly different, from 1984 last month, which will be on the channel at some point. I have a sort of soft spot for these, although if you go to lots of shows, there are just so many of them that it can be a bit overwhelming. This is a sort of 8990 on G. And that's a very nice interior as well. It's beautiful. Oh yes, it is beige leather. Very nice. Very, very nice indeed. Ooh, we're almost out of time, viewers. A 1981 DeLorean DMC 12. Relatively early one. I think we're only 2 years to the DeLorean. It was 1981, 1982, I think. This is predictably, my phone ran out of battery, so I'm on my other one now. But yes, PRV V6 in the back. No missed fusion, unfortunately, or flux capacitor. Ooh. There we go, got the manual gearbox. I think it's from like a Renault or something, isn't it? The gearbox in these. And then the doors. At some point in my life I would like to try one of these. It would be fun. Maybe not at the moment, but yeah, that'd be interesting. A couple of other things have since turned up actually. Got another Austin 7 here. This one I think is maybe a little bit earlier than the other one, probably from the 20s. Look at the size difference between this Rolls Royce, which is probably about the same age as the Austin 7, and this. Isn't that crazy? The gentleman who brought it in here also is very adept at parking it, which I don't think I would have been myself. Right, we had something else turn up as well here. Oh, that's leaving, viewers. Can't talk about that. Right, 1971-72 MGB GT. More Marine-like style wheels on this. Now look at the grille at the front again. This should probably have a fish mouth grill in it originally, but a lot of people don't seem to like those at the moment, so that might well have been replaced at some stage for a different one. But there we go. Had a couple other things turn up. 1994-1995 Toyota Starlet. This wasn't the last type of Starlet that was sold over here. Don't remember what the last one was actually called, but this is yes, a time when Toyota didn't really sell many of these. Not in comparison with the Yaris anyway. Tiny little things really. It says jeans package on it, but I don't think this is one of those. I think this is just a standard UK car, which I think was just called for GL at the time. Can't remember now. Then we've got something rather faster here. The X150, I think these are called, Jaguar XKR. This to me looks like a pre-facelift one. The second generation type. Cream leather interior. These have like 400 horsepower or something, bonkers fast. Would be, I don't know, 2007, 2008, something like that. Yes, I have driven the first generation one of these. It was just a standard XK8. But now I feel like I want to try the later ones. I think that's probably it for tonight, unless I find anything else, which I will add. But thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again very soon. Oh, spoke to you soon. There's another one that is coming. That must be an even earlier Austin 7. It's got the headlamps up there. That's crazy. Let's park it in there or something. But yeah, anyway, what a crazy evening here in Ampfield. We'll see you again very soon for some more incorrect information.